My fiance and I agreed to have an open relationship a year ago, but I want to close it because I suspect he is secretly forming an emotional relationship with one woman he's been sexual with. My fiance and I agreed to open our relationship last year. He's 30 and I'm 28. We agreed the rules would be that we could sleep with others, but we would only have an emotional relationship with each other. We are due to marry this summer. I have decided that I no longer wish to continue and want to close the relationship because I feel that it's affecting our relationship. I'm still determining how to do this. I have had purely sexual relationships with 4 men, and that was it. Nothing more. He was having sex with around 4 or 5 women, but there was nothing more to it. I have now discovered that he has been sleeping with just one woman for at least 3 months. After some snooping over a day or two, I have found evidence that he is meeting her for evenings out and lunch. He WhatsApps her daily. He is emotionally involved. I'm still unsure to what extent, but I'm furious because I have now found that he is taking her on a work trip with him. He never said that he was not traveling alone. I have to put a stop to this before it happens. I want him to end it with her. I've had enough. How do I confront him? He's violated what we agreed on, and we must stop. I don't want to marry him knowing he's emotionally attached to another woman. We promised each other that we would put each other first. Update: my fiance and I agreed to have an open relationship a year ago, but I want to close it because I suspect he is secretly forming an emotional relationship with one woman he's been sexual with. The problems in my relationship with my fiance in a thread on Friday, a day or so after discovering my fiance's emotional affair with the woman he initially had a sexual relationship with. We have had an open relationship since last year, although initially we were exclusive. He went to her place on Friday after work and said he'll return on Saturday. However, he informed me on Saturday that he'll return on Sunday. I asked him why, and he said that this woman was ill and had a migraine coming on, so he wanted to ensure that she was fine before he left her place. I told him that I knew he was bullshitting and making excuses, as she doesn't need him to hang around with her to recover from a migraine. He said he was not lying and that she was truly unwell. He promised to return by Sunday afternoon, which he did. I told him soon after that I knew what he was up to. I knew all that was going on and the extent of his romantic relationship with her, which we both agreed was off limits. We were only allowed to have sexual partners and no emotional relationships with others. He was somewhat surprised that I knew the details about his trips and evenings out with her, and I admitted to him that I had in fact looked at his email and WhatsApp messages. He was furious and refused to talk further, but then I told him I knew he was hiding something and I needed to know what he was up to. He calmed down and then came up to me and told me that he had been thinking about us and had come to the conclusion that he did not want to marry me. I asked him if he was calling off the engagement. He said he was done with the relationship altogether. After arguing over this and his cheating, he admitted that his decision was linked to his relationship with this woman. He said that he was indeed in love with her now and accepted that he had cut out all other sexual partners because he was emotionally involved with her. He even went to the extent of saying that he felt very loved when with her, that it meant the world to him that he was the only man in her life, and she was fully and completely focused on him. He added that he wanted to be able to reciprocate and had therefore decided that he was going to do just that and commit to her. I said I wanted to close the relationship and be only with him, and that I had realized that the open relationship was not working for us. He said no, because he felt unable to end his relationship with her, and that he simply did not care to try with me anymore as everything had changed far too much. I reminded him that he agreed to open the relationship and was sleeping with several women. Now he was blaming me for what was mutually agreed. He said he wasn't blaming anyone and that he thought it would work out fine. But after a while, it all started feeling empty, and he felt pathetic sleeping around with others. He said it felt meaningless and that he felt like shit. He said he didn't want a life like that, and he wanted and preferred complete commitment. He did not apologize for his decision and emotionally cheating behind my back. I told him that he was ending years of commitment in an engagement for a fling, and he snapped that it wasn't a fling. I couldn't believe he was speaking this way. Very cold and indifferent toward me. He didn't outright say it, but he is seriously considering moving in with her. After only 3 months. I feel devastated, but the way he spoke to me has left me feeling empty. I don't know whether to wait for him to wake up and see that he's rushing this relationship with her and abruptly walking out on our life and home together, or to let him go and see if he ever comes back to me. I know that pushing him will serve little purpose, as he is determined to stay with her for now. What do I even do? I feel too shocked and confused to react to anything, and spent the entire night awake trying to work out what happens now. We were due to marry later this year. I can't even bear to think about canceling what we'd planned for our future and telling people that it's off. I have so much on my mind, and I'm struggling to cope. TLDR. My fiance and I had an open relationship that was initially exclusive. He secretly began an emotional affair with one of his sexual partners and now claims to be in love with her. He outright refused to cut her out of his life and now wants to be exclusive with her and call off our wedding. I think he's simply infatuated, having been with her for only 3 months. Is this something that I can save? Should I wait for him to see if he realizes this? Should I leave and see if this has any effect? Edited to add, should I be telling the other woman that he was engaged? I'm not sure if she is aware of it. Let's see comments. You opened the relationship and he closed it. You were just on the other side of the door when he slammed it in your face. How does it make you feel to think about him taking this woman out for a romantic candlelit meal full of sweet, tender moments? Does it make you feel sick to your stomach, heartbroken? Because when you implied he's not enough for you by asking to F other guys, that's how he felt. From a purely rational perspective, he was better off finding someone and staying with you by saying yes, because you also implied there was someone in mind you wanted to sleep with, which I haven't seen you say in either thread. No, it's not the most ethical way, but that's the best way for him. And you made it clear an open relationship is what was best for you because you'd done it before. So he felt like that was the correct thing to do. You also never were there emotionally for him, despite you saying no emotional attachments allowed outside of your relationship. So he found someone else who, in his own words, had him as the only man in his life. You can't do anything to get him back, and you shouldn't, because your selfishness and neglect led to this, and he, while not blameless, is much less at fault than you are here. Let him leave and be happy, and don't try contacting the other woman, because she definitely is closer to him than you are now. You opened the relationship, yet you don't seem to feel at all responsible for its failure. You want to blame him because he didn't follow some unenforceable agreement you had. You want to deflect blame so badly, you willing to go and tell this other woman what you think. For what? You sent your love, a man you were willing to marry, out into the world, and then you're surprised when someone else finds him as wonderful as you do. You weren't robbed. Someone took what you were willing to throw away so you could sleep with other people. You knew that risk existed. You can't ask for commitment from someone when you haven't made anything resembling a commitment yourself. People need to feel valued in a committed relationship, some exclusivity. A marriage without that means you share bills and household chores. That isn't love. That's another contract set up for failure. Your philosophy on relationships just doesn't work for very many people, and you knew that as well. I don't understand what you are complaining about, though. You are the architect of this situation. all by yourself. Unfortunately for you, you are not a skilled architect, and as such, everything is collapsing. You wanted an open relationship for you, as evidenced in your comments. You said it worked well for you before. Well, for you, sure, but since all the other guys are now your exes, you can see how the open relationship thing never really worked. It was always a selfish request, all for you. I doubt there was any talk about rules, boundaries, prioritizing your partner over a random hookup, and so on. Your fiance here said yes to your proposal because most likely he had no idea how to react. It went well for you because all you really cared about was that you got to sleep with other guys. It backfired because your fiance was not a doormat and found partners of his own. Your relationship is now dead, no matter what you will try. We recently had a girl who killed her 6-year relationship because she asked for a threesome. In your case, it went above and beyond. Let's see another story. We are a long distance relationship at the moment and will be for the next 6 months. She called me last night and said we should have an open relationship for the next 6 months. I said that I don't have any interest in it, but if she wants, then we can break up and she can do what she wants guilt-free. She then said, it's not she wants, but this conversation has left a bad taste in my mouth. Is it a red flag, guy? You don't just get up one day and decide to have an open relationship, right? I don't know what to think here. Please help, guys. Update, update. So I talked to her some more. I told her in no uncertain terms that if she really wants an open relationship, then it's a sign of us being incompatible because I won't be happy in an open relationship and you won't be happy in a closed one. And there is no compromise on this one, sadly, so you need to make up your mind on this one. Then she said she was just feeling horny when she said, but since I don't want it, then she won't do it. I asked her again to think long and hard about her own needs and if she can be truly satisfied without it. She said yes, it's no big deal, and she will just buy some new toys. Also, she is coming to see me tomorrow night, so we will talk more on this. So that's the update, I guess. She say the discussion is closed and let's move on. Also, I got around 750 comments and most of them asked me to communicate with her and then decide, but I think there were 15. 20 comments which were trying to shame me into accepting an open relationship like WTF people. I am not trying to tell you how to live your life, so I would appreciate it if you don't try to shame me into accepting your way of life. Let's see comments. She wanted an open relationship because she was horny but was going to see you the next day. WTF. Good luck with this relationship. Ah, so you've chosen slow and painful. I'm willing to bet the entire world that she already has someone in mind, and you turning it down won't negate the fact that she will indeed want this at some point again. If not, still want it now. If you sweep this under the rug after you guys talk it out when she comes over, then like a few others commenters said, good luck, LOL. What exactly was it that made her want an open relationship, though? You mentioned she said she was just horny, but everyone gets horny doesn't automatically mean open relationships. Was there a certain person she had interest in before? Just seems odd for this to come up suddenly, IMO. This is one of those things that people have very different opinions on. Some people here like to wax poetic about how monogamy is unsustainable and patriarchal, and not letting your girlfriend F 20 guys is misogynistic. Others like to play dumb and say that she was just asking, and that, if anything, this is a sign that she's a great communicator. They'll shame you for having an emotional reaction to it, or even considering breaking up with her. Then there are people like me. The moment someone asks for an open relationship, I would consider the relationship over. You now know for a fact that the only thing stopping her from jumping into bed with other guys is the fact that you said no. You. Who would want to wife up a woman like that? As such, I think you're letting her dictate the pace too much. She gets to decide when the discussion is closed. She gets to decide when to move on. What are you, her slave? You need to, at the very least, acknowledge that her asking this question has shaken the foundation of trust in your relationship. She needs to work to earn that trust back. Otherwise, you're stuck with a girlfriend with loose morals and low EQ. P.S. Do you really think she asked for an open relationship without first having a guy picked out? She was horny and wanted to F a specific guy. OP, you do realize she's lying to you, right? She's 100% in damage control mode. She'll cheat and hide it now. She wanted to see if she could get you to sign off on it. You didn't, so now she'll be sneaky. This isn't a, oh, I was horny thing. This is a, I have a guy in mind and wanted to cheat without guilt, but you said no, so now I have to be careful thing. I don't really need to add to the gonna cheat vibe, but what I'd say from experience, if people want an open relationship, they make that very clear to start with, not down the line. Make your own decisions on it, but just understand if you want one partner and she wants an open relationship. That means she already thinks you're not enough for her, horny or not. I mean, bro, when I'm horny, I get my GF to send me nudes, not ask her if I can go out and F another girl.